ladies and gentlemen, Rob Schmitt interviewed Donald Trump on his thing. And I got to say, prepare yourself. Brace yourself. Brace yourself. Oh, thank you, Robin. Brace yourself for this one, chat room. Fucking hell. This, there are it looks like he's fucking crying in this one. The freeze frames that Newsmax grabs are worse than the ones I get of this dopey motherfucker. Glassy-eyed, bloodshot, pink fucking rims around his eyelids and stuff. Ugh. And just this, if I didn't know this guy was a fucking pig, just a gross human being, I'd almost feel sorry for him if I didn't know who he was and I saw his face. Now, this might be Trump at his most Pat Robertson so far. And if you haven't watched some of the Pat Robertson stuff where he's like, this is, they're turning, it's the communists and the devil who are taking our country in a terrible direction. Like, he's getting so fucking close to that in this. It's bad. Pat, hung in there for a long time, kept his show on the air, but that's different than running for president. And if you want to know Pat Robertson's backstory, go look up Sam Kinnison's bit about Pat Robertson and God. You'll thank me later.
I want to talk about the black vote in this country.
As a representative of, because I dye my hair jet black. You got to put some fucking, dude, you got to do like layers and texture. You can't just fucking, if you're not going to go blue or some broad color, at least give some variety. But Jesus Christ, what's with the Superman circa 1951 Grecian formula situation there, dude? It's just saying the blue-black's a bit much.
I feel like there is a paradigm shift happening in the way politics has gone in this country for the last...
Really? You've been talking to your black friends, have you?
50, 60 years. We just saw 50 Cent...
Trump doesn't know whether he should be happy about that or not. But the black people are starting to like me? Oh, dear. I must be doing something wrong. The black people, if they start to like Trump, because they like, the stuff they like, I don't like. And if they like me, then obviously I'm not likable, and that can't happen. Oh, is that loud? Sorry, 1 second.
Comes out.
Oh, yeah, that is loud. Sorry. Weep. Pink.
Criticizing the chaos in New York. These guys have a lot of influence
and really supporting
over those communities. And he says maybe Trump is the answer. You've had a lot of these rappers come out. If you can get even 20% of the black vote.
It might make up for all the Republicans you're losing. Except by the numbers.
Their whole...
If you can get 20% of 6%, which is just, again, if black people are 13% of the electorate and 2/3 of them are adults that can vote, maybe, probably close to there, something like that, or 3/5. Let's go there. 3/5 of the black vote is old enough to vote and half of them are men. But more than half of them are women, slightly less than half are men, and then 20% of those men like you because of the guy with the Black X for Trump shirt. Yeah, shave off. Explain to me. Keep shaving that fucking salami thinner and thinner.
Whole game is toast. You're talking about a rally maybe in the Bronx. You're talking about one maybe at so you're talking about Madison Square Garden. You're talking about going into New York City and doing a political rally as if New York is on the...
Yeah, Louis C.K. just played there.
Table.
Well, take a look at New York. It's a mess now. And I'm not even blaming the mayor. Look what happened. They sent in 350,000 illegal aliens, migrants, call them whatever you want. Then they start beating.
Well, it kind of makes a difference. If they're migrants, then why are they being sent there? And if they're illegal aliens, then why is Abbott dropping them off in a city without arranging with that city for the drop-off at the very least?
Up our police force, okay? These.
By the way, no, they didn't. A group of young men beat up a couple of cops in an exchange where they were trying to arrest somebody who was in a greater group who was starting some shit. And 4 of those guys bugged out, 2 that were arrested that night, and 4 of them bugged out that were part of the 8 or 10 that took shots and did other shit. And 3 of them are quote unquote migrants that were sent up from Texas and all that kind of shit. So the idea that this is indicative of like the women and children we see crossing the border, go fuck yourself.
Thugs, and they're rough-looking guys, by the way.
And they want to.
No, they're not. I gotta say, I've seen them. They're skinny. They're wearing skinny jeans and drop pants and fucking hoodies. If there weren't 8 of them on, and those, by the way, both of those cops were treated at the scene for minor abrasions. And this is with like 8 of these motherfuckers kicking them while they were arresting somebody. Yeah, cantaloupe calves. If the women had gotten in, I guess ZKR 99, is that the point?
Like they could be on the Iowa
$50
wrestling team, if you want to know the truth. Okay, we have a great team, but or Penn State has a great team,
yeah.
But
what has a great wrestling team? Tell it. Stop. I want to hear more about your interest in men's wrestling. Is it a Jim Jordan thing? You're like, where will Jim Jordan look the other way for me?
These are rough guys, and you see them just pounding our police who are laying on the ground.
And they don't.
They're sweaty. They're pounding them. You know, it's like the sweat glinting off their skin and oil. You see them. You see these cowboy movies, like something liquid this way comes. You know, yeah, you do. And
Don't even get bail.
And then they get out and they give everybody the finger.
Yeah.
They give
the one guy gave like double bird when they were letting him
giving
out.
the finger and cursing at everybody, like, you know, we're so pathetic as a country in terms of law and order. We have the greatest police in the world, but they're not allowed to do their jobs.
By the way, can I just say this idea that Soros DAs are letting people out for shit like this. And by the way, if somebody beats up a cop or tries to, joins in on a bunch of other people kicking cops while they're trying to arrest somebody or whatever, all of those guys should go to jail. Because if you think they'll wait, they'll like hesitate one fucking second to roll you or me or your kid or your wife or your grandmother, your friend, any of this other situation, fuck that. If you're gonna kick somebody in the back of the neck while they're facing the other way, you go to jail. Fuck that shit. We're not talking about stand-up fights where their rights are being violated and they're like, well, I had to fight back because I thought this guy was gonna kill me. And like, it wasn't that at all. These fuckers were just running over, getting a shot in and fucking off. So no, you go straight to jail for that. Stop fucking around. And then if you're here as a migrant seeking asylum or something like that, you lose your asylum protection. And you get sent back to the country you're coming from, because the idea that you're going to torture someone here and claim that you're in fear for your life where you came from is nuts. Quit it. Stop. No, like stop. And they're not. And the problem I have, you want to talk about dehumanizing somebody. If you think, well, the migrants can't help it, it's just how they are. They can't not kick somebody while they're down. They can't not attack a police officer. It's just, their trauma has basically turned them into a chimpanzee. You know what I mean? It's not their fault. They're not, I mean, if you really think about it, they're not like a real person. Like, that's dehumanizing someone. Taking away someone's agency and responsibility is fucking dehumanizing. So, there you go.
You have...
Four of them were undocumented, and those were the ones that blitzed out. The other 2 had work permits, but I think it was because of the actual, previous migrant push.
200 usually young people walk into a department store and totally strip it of everything, walk out with television sets.
Yeah, no. By the way, those are Americans, just for the record. Not related. Not even close.
And the police, are dying to do their work, just like Border Patrol.
Right.
What's their work? Shoot them over a television set? And by the way, they do arrest people all the time. And the judge gives them a date in the future, and if they don't show up, they go to jail, and some of them get out multiple times. That's a thing you have to fix. There's a weird way of talking about crime right now, which is this idea that like you're taking people out of the community for committing crimes, and it's damaging to the community because those are integral parts of the people in that community. When in reality, those are the people that are victimizing the people of that community. Because just like sexual assault, most people are harmed by people they know, or people who are close by. Nobody drives all the way across the city most of the time to steal from somebody. They usually steal from the local. Most of the crimes happen within, 5-10 miles of your house. And so if you don't take those folks out of the community and put them in jail, they continue to victimize that community.
Dying to do their work.
But again, it's how you talk about it and the meaningful change you can put into place instead of this just blather horse shit about they just run in, they're like animals. Like that's the difference. We agree that there's a problem, but I think a solution that's functional is meaningful, which is, Dick Gregory once said the same thing. Oh, well, good. I love Dick Gregory. Meanwhile, this asshole it's all about demonizing large groups to scare the fuck out of Newsmax viewers. And there has to be a distinction.
But they're not allowed to do their work. Rob, they're not allowed to do it.
Yes, they are. They're allowed to do their work. Cops are allowed to do their work. They do it every fucking day. They put their lives in their hands. They do it like, Jesus Christ, go watch fucking police activity. If you want to get down a fucking rabbit hole, go watch police activity on YouTube. Go watch any of those, like the shit they deal with every fucking day, like all the fucking body cam footage. Talk about binge watching a fucking show. Yeah, Code Blue Cam, all that shit. They do their job all the time. That's not the issue. The issue is the DAs that let people out who are violent, who aren't making the distinction between nonviolent offenders, people who are there for a pot bust or some other shit, and people who are in for domestic violence for the third or fourth fucking time. And this motherfucker, for the record, wants that guy who's been let out 3 times for domestic violence, he wants that guy to still be able to buy a gun. So don't talk to me about fucking law and order.
They're not allowed to do anything. They have to stand there.
The employee, if you
and they're
report
told
the
if you do
employees,
anything, you're fired, and you lose your pension, you lose your family, you lose your house, you lose it.
You lose your family. I can't find anything. You lose your keys. I don't even know why I'm in this room.
Everything. The police want to do the job, and they're not doing it, Rob. They're not allowed to do it.
Yeah. I want to ask you.
They do it every day. They do it every day. Cops do it every day. They don't give a fuck. There's a bunch of places where I'm sure in parts of St. Louis or New York or someplace that like these motherfuckers like, deal with it so much they get burned out and all this stuff, but all across the fucking country, they get up and they do it every fucking day. People of all different nationalities and backgrounds and races in this country are police officers, and dozens of them fucking die all the time, and half the country doesn't give a shit. Half of the left doesn't give a shit when a cop dies, and half of the right thinks that they're a jackbooted thug for the fucking UN, and they still do it.
Country is just, it's so pathetic.
Fuck you.
And other countries.
No, it's not.
Countries are watching this. I'll tell you what,
Yeah, China's watching this and going, they're looking, when you have to look up to see pathetic, imagine how you feel. America's pathetic. And they're doing so much better than we are.
I got to know Putin very well. I got to know Xi very well. I got along with everybody, et cetera.
Yeah, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, Putin sent you money while you were president and bought out entire floors of your buildings, of your hotels, and nobody even stayed in them. Sure.
But they knew it was no games. I was talking to Putin a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. There's no way he would have ever moved.
Fucking apple of his eye shit. It's so weird.
When Biden showed that horrible situation, that horrible surrender, because that's all it was in Afghanistan.
Why was it a surrender? We left 3 months later than you said we were going to leave. Why was it a surrender? So you negotiated a surrender. I guess that's it. Okay, that's the news for tonight. Donald Trump negotiated the surrender in Afghanistan. Congratulations, asshole. That horrible surrender. What are we supposed to do? If we're leaving, they set off a bomb. We're like, fuck it, everybody back out. We're staying. Was that supposed to be the fucking response? Turn the planes around. We're just gonna drop gear on top of these motherfuckers. Just like, yeah, everybody who was staff at the embassy, you're all given a hand grenade. You're all now suicide bombers for the United States. We'll just give you half a parachute and just dump you over a fucking Taliban hotspot because they kill any of us on the way out. We're staying.
The way he got out of Afghanistan, and I'm the one that got it down. I was going to keep Bagram. I was going to keep the air.
Well, then you can't stay and leave. This is the same shit. You can't stay and leave. We were going to get out or we weren't. You don't get out and keep Bagram. You don't take fucking Bagram and fill it full of our soldiers, and which will be surrounded in an area that was controlled by ISIS-K, for fuck's sake, the ones who actually set off the bomb.
Base, you know, it's one of the biggest. I think it might be the biggest air base in the world for runways.
Who cares? For runways? No, it isn't. Asshole. What do you think we do? Build fucking planes in Afghanistan that can only take off from there? Seriously, what kind of an asshole thinks? Motherfucker, you think we built planes that we can only take off and land from Afghanistan? What are you talking about? That's so weird. That is so fucking. It's an odd dunk. Okay, one of the reasons why the big deal about the Bagram runway is the depth of it, because it had to be able to take shelling. And the idea was that they were worried about, I like Pervert Hoover as a name for him as well. I think that's genius. Pervert Hoover is, yeah, Donald Pervert Hoover Trump. It works great for me. But never mind the fact that he wanted to keep soldiers there, surrounded by ISIS-K all the time, just as sitting ducks for that kind of shit, to get, I guess, tactical superiority over where the production of nukes is for China, which has nothing to do with where they're fucking launched from. So fucking odd. And they already have them, so it's not like we're gonna blow up their factory like Iran. None of it fits. None of it fucking fits.
And we gave it up. It's 1 hour away from China, where they make.
Yeah, that not only was it useless, it was convenient too.
Make their nuclear weapons, okay?
It's where they process their uranium. It's not where they make their nuclear weapons.
1 hour away, and we gave it up.
And again, what are we going to do? While the nukes that they already have are in the fucking air, we're going to blow up their ability to make more nukes in a nuclear war? Get the fuck out of here.
You know who occupies it now? They say China occupies it now.
Yeah, and fuck them. You guys want to do a fucking deep dive into the, like, hold on. How about this? You know who occupies it now? Hold on. China. Let's see. Yeah, and it's a shame that we don't have more people in there. Get out of here. This is from Al Jazeera. Here you go. Boop. Get out of the way, silly. Deadly attack on Kabul hotel, popular with Chinese nationals. At least 3 attackers killed by security officers after they opened fire at the hotel in central Kabul, says an official. At least 3 attackers have been killed by Afghan security forces after they opened fire at a Kabul hotel popular with Chinese nationals. The unidentified armed men opened fire inside the multi-story Kabul Longan Hotel in central Kabul on Monday, with witnesses reporting multiple blasts and several bursts of gunfire. The Chinese entrepreneurs chasing an Afghan gold rush. Good luck. 6 civilians killed in unprovoked Afghan firing in Pakistan. Yeah, it's a great place. This is where we want our forces fucking hanging out. The attacks now ended, and no foreigners were killed, although 2 of them were injured while trying to escape the attack by jumping from a hotel balcony. That's 18 dead and 3 on arrival. Let's see. Hold on. Let me show you this turned out to be, where is it? Hold on. Where's the other one? Yeah. Turned out later, after the news came out, because China put out that no Chinese people were hurt in this at all. They just jumped out of a balcony or whatever. Nope. 5 Chinese nationals were wounded in the Kabul hotel attack, according to the Chinese Foreign Ministry, a month later. And then, let's see if I can find the other one. Daily attack. Kyle 3 gunmen dead. Kyle attack. This is just the most recent one. Hold on. Yeah, here's April in Pakistan, nearby. Pakistan, this was Chinese nationals among 4 killed in Karachi blast. This was related to their fight with the Taliban. And let's see. There we go. This is... see. Yeah, I don't know, like that story, the Kabul one keeps coming up. There's a bunch of, there you go. Yikes. Attack on Chinese Afghan shows. Yeah, this is the current state of that. The Chinese being in control. Attack on Chinese in Afghanistan shows Taliban coming under fire. They're making deals with outsiders, and that's what ISIS is trying to fight. Just for the record, this asshole knows nothing about any of the stuff that's going on there or in Pakistan. They had a Chinese couple while he was president. There was a Chinese couple murdered in Pakistan.
No, we have
by basically the same people, the ISIS group, which is who they've come over there because of the Uyghurs.
Very, very bad situation. When Russia saw that, that's when they started to move. They saw how we...
No, they didn't. They started building that idea because they were going to go in on his second term and he was going to help them.
It's like we fled Afghanistan. And I spoke to the leader of the Taliban.
If we left 3 months later than you had scheduled, wouldn't fleeing mean you leave faster? Why didn't Biden leave before your deadline?
And Abdul. And I said, don't do it. You know, I didn't have one soldier shot in 18 months in Afghanistan.
Right, because that's you negotiated a conditional surrender. Don't kill any of our people, and we'll get out on this date. If you kill anybody, we're going to have to stay. And they went, okay, nobody kills any of these assholes until so that they leave, so we can get back to killing women.
Not one soldier was shot. And then this thing happened. 13 were killed. And, you know, they never talk about
the wounded. Right. Yeah. Name one of the people that was wounded. You've allegedly met with the parents in theory.
The people that were injured. But these aren't injuries like, you know.
You
hurt your foot.
Yeah. Yeah, it isn't like you hurt your foot. Except some of them did get there were people with their hurt foots.
These are injuries that are devastating, like no legs, no arms, and your face is obliterated.
That's pretty devastating. That's like the Metallica 1 video.
5 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to live, you know, with the kind of injuries we're talking about. These are the most horrific injuries.
Landmine has taken my sight. Someone help me, please. Like that. I swear to God, like if he had any cultural reference at all, I'd swear he was just like, he's just flashing back to Johnny Get Your Gun, which is the movie that they took footage for the Metallica 1 video.
That anybody can have. We have 39 people with massive injuries. Nobody ever mentions them. They mentioned the 13. I know the people and the parents and the wives and husbands of the 13 people. I've had them over to Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. I've had them over to Bedminster. They're devastated. This should have never happened.
And that devastation goes.
What about the 96 service members that were killed during the Trump administration? I mean, you know, life for a life. Everybody matters to the people around them more than anyone else in general. But at my estimation, we are in Biden's 4th year, and aside from accidents, there have been 15 service people killed including Afghanistan, and the 3 service members that were just got killed. That's 15. And I guess we're just going to blow off anybody that died of COVID.
Across, I mean, we're seeing in this country in every single area, we're seeing a presidential administration just dismantling. And I mean,
No, we're not. Tell me, why? Okay, why would you pass an infrastructure bill if your goal was to dismantle everything? Why would you renew all the airports and pull up lead pipes and replace all the fucking raggedy bridges in the Midwest, in areas where voters didn't vote for you and aren't going to? Will say fuck you at the ribbon cutting while patting their local politician on the back who voted against it as well.
I saw
Johnny got his gun. Thank you, Jupesman. Yeah, Johnny got his gun.
From Davos a week or two ago, you had Jamie Dimon, who has a lot of influence, especially in the financial world, the donors, the Wall Street money. You know,
You mean he's rich for real as opposed to fake rich? That's rude. I mean, Trump's sitting right across from you, man. You're just going to say that?
he said Trump was right about a lot. He admitted, it's like, for as vilified as you were right about a lot. And he really criticized the Democrat Party and the treatment that they've given to your movement and your supporters and how they've written that all off and the way that they're treated. I mean,
which are much bigger than 50% of this country.
No, they're not.
In my opinion, much bigger.
In your opinion. Nobody gives, well, of course you think your supporters are worth more than 50% of the country when they're 30% of your party.
And I'd say it's close to 95% of the Republican Party.
No, it isn't. If it's close to 95%, why are you getting 50% in Iowa and New Hampshire, you dumb fuck?
Get a kick out of the fact, these two people are unpopular. I mean, but he's unpopular. I'm not unpopular.
No, you're very popular. Yeah, no. The people in the villages, I've seen your fans. They're fantastic.
I'll bet you 95% of the Republican Party.
Okay. Can we use just any general poll of Republicans, registered Republican voters? How much? How about $83 million? You don't have that. I mean, I know I don't have it. You really don't have it.
Reagan had 86. What haven't I been right about? And the one thing, and I'm not...
The wall securing the border, making it better?
Predicting it, so it's not a question of...
Oh, Biden crashing the economy as soon as he gets into office?
Right or wrong, but we're very close to World War III, much closer than anyone understands.
Well, okay, technically speaking, if World War III ever happens, even if it's 2,000 years from now, with every day that passes, we're closer to it anyways. Until it's in the rearview mirror, we're always getting closer to it, if it happens at all.
And the power of weaponry is so incredible. I got to see it myself, okay? I mean, I understand it better than anybody.
Yeah, he understands the weapons better than anybody. Yeah, explain it then. I mean, fuck the nuclear scientists and the DOD and the Pentagon and the fucking contractors and Boeing and Raytheon. These fucking idiots.
And the power of weaponry is...
Oh, yeah, the power of weaponry. So you're saying we're not going to fight hand to hand?
So devastating today.
It is. The power of, just like, now that humans have weapons, Neil.
And
no, nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. And the fact that Rob Schmitt is probably nodding right now is more pathetic than what this asshole is actually saying.
We're playing with a guy who can't put two sentences together. This is the guy.
What happens if he gets back in for 4 more years?
I think the country's finished. I do.
In what regard?
I'm going to move. I'm going to have to leave. I'm definitely...
I think it's not going to be able to function.
Yes, Anthony, if she lets you. It's not going to be able to function. Really? Why don't you say it? I like the way you said it before.
They're going to be a country no more. I actually think it will not. It will be a country no more.
Uh-huh.